It's the Struggle City Side Streets. This is very impromptu, but this is a little thing that we're probably going to call Coffee at the Matinee.
Something like that. Yeah. That was your conception name.
Yeah, because it sounds super pretentious, and it's a little thing I like to do because movie theaters serve coffee, which I think is a weird thing.
It's definitely odd.
It's odd. I'm fine with them serving liquor because sometimes you need to drink to get through movies, but the coffee thing is weird, and the coffee is god awful.
Coffee and tea. I know they also sell Tazo towels or
Tazo.
Yeah. Tazo tea.
Selling tea is a stupid thing. Like, just give me a cup of hot water. I'll bring my own tea.
You'll bring the tea bag.
I'll bring my own tea bag. My own scalding hot, questionably furry,
dripping wet.
Sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna claim my tea bag is entirely dry when I use it. But
all right.
This is the essence of how impromptu this shit is. BT dubs.
So basically, what this little bit is going to be about?
Little bits,
little cakes, tiny cakes.
Oh,
I love tiny cakes.
I hate cake.
I
really hate cake.
Casey or myself or Missy.
Somebody.
A human being.
One of the residents of our fair burg.
Yeah. We're going to talk about a movie or maybe a TV show.
Yeah, but something that we've recently consumed and we want to share.
Yeah.
We want to share thoughts on something like that.
Probably more or less along the lines of the moving picture. Less books. That's probably going to be something different.
We'll think of an equally pretentious title for when we're talking about books.
Yeah.
Something like that, because at least one of us has a degree in English.
For now.
Yeah.
For now. Eventually. Maybe.
I just started making payments on that shit, too. On my Sally Mae.
I am so sorry.
Well, it's not due for a while. I just figured let me get it out of the way because it's fairly reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. So.
Anyway, real world stuff aside.
Yeah. At the time of this recording, it's been about a week since Captain Marvel came out.
Yes.
And Casey recently went to go see it, as of
last night,
24 hours ago.
Last night, and I liked it. I was pleasantly surprised. I went in. I try to go into things with an open mind, but that's usually nonsense. You can never go into things with a totally open mind, especially with Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But I was surprisingly, pleasantly surprised.
Would you say you were pleasantly surprised?
No. I would not. I would not at all.
Totally not 3 times in a row?
No. Pleasantly, not pleasantly.
Negative pleasantly.
Negative pleasantly. It all evens out in the end.
So, what were your thoughts?
It was your typical Marvel movie. It followed that formula pretty well because it's another origin story explaining who Captain Marvel is and who she is in the greater scheme of things, more so in the role she's going to play, because she's apparently a huge key element in Endgame.
Okay.
Somehow, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hang on, I need to drink.
Fair enough. I feel that.
I need to freshen my palate.
Wet your whistle.
Yes. Anyway, yeah, it's another origin story. It explains her powers. It explains some of, I guess, motivations.
Okay.
For whatever she does.
Captain Marvel thing.
Yeah, hero things. Her relationship with Nick Fury. Why he had that beeper at the end of Infinity War. If you saw that end credit scene, spoilers.
I mean, everyone's seen it by now. It's like one of those movies where it's okay to spoil because it's all over the internet.
I liked it as much as Infinity War.
Really?
Infinity War is one of the rare ones that has a lot of rewatchability.
I agree. Yeah.
Just because of how compelling mostly Thanos is. because he's one of the only interesting characters in that movie.
Yeah. I would say second to maybe, first to Tony Stark.
No, no, Tony Stark is terrible.
I love Tony Stark.
He's awful.
When you're comparing him to Thanos, they have similar motives.
More or less, yeah.
Which is why I find him very compelling, more compelling than any of the others. Anyway, that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah. I don't like Tony Stark.
What did you think of the soundtrack? Or the score? Because
it's so goddamn forgettable. It was almost like Black Panther in that it was still stock, but they added just enough in an attempt to make it seem unique.
I feel that,
like Black Panther is just your traditional big Marvel score plus drums.
But it sounded great. I love that score.
I don't remember it.
It's the only one
I remember the soundtrack, but mostly because of Kendrick Lamar.
Yes.
I don't remember the score, and I don't remember the score for Captain Marvel. I unfortunately remember the soundtrack.
I'm sorry.
Because it's all the most grating hits of the 90s.
Of all the female bands, too, which was an interesting twist.
It wasn't uniquely female. Like, they played REM a couple of times because that was REM's heyday.
Fair enough, yeah.
Like a scene near the end, they're talking to one of the Skrulls, which is like one of the other aliens that shows up, and in the background they're playing "Man on the Moon," just to drive that point home. Like, hey, the green guy with fucking ears that turns into other people isn't from Earth.
If you haven't figured that part out yet,
who looks like Piccolo from Dragon Ball Evolution?
Fucking Piccolo.
No, not Piccolo from the cartoon. He looks like Piccolo from the live-action Dragon Ball movie.
The crappy Dragon Ball movie?
Which I have. Because it's a guilty pleasure.
Casey. Casey. You and your Neil Breen-esque movies.
Fuck you. Neil Breen is an artist.
Without spoiling anything.
Okay.
How well do you think this fit into the MCU currently? Without spoiling anything. If you can even do that.
Because it takes place all in the 90s, so it's before Iron Man. It says that weird between first Captain America, the first Avenger, and Iron Man.
Okay.
Which is a huge space of time, obviously.
Yeah.
But it works. It explains Captain Marvel's absence for the last 20 years, or the last 10 years.
Okay.
Which is what I guessed anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of obvious.
Yeah, like, where else would she be but deep space?
Yeah. Not on Earth.
Yeah, which I guess, it's not a spoiler. Like, if your brain works, you know she hasn't been on Earth.
Yeah. And she hasn't been snapped.
Right, like she hasn't been anywhere near events in any of the movies prior.
Otherwise, Fury probably would have done something.
He was honestly one of the most unexpected delights of the movie.
I mean, it's Samuel L. Jackson, so...
Well, not only that, but it's a lighter, younger Nick Fury.
Before he was broken.
Yeah, but this is Nick Fury's first foray into anything extraterrestrial, into anything that's not human.
So, like, his first foray into, like, an actual Avengers initiative beyond...
Well, this isn't a spoiler, but because Captain Marvel's call name during her time in the Air Force was Avenger, that's where we get Avengers.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And a lot of people were complaining, like, oh, now we can't call Captain America the first Avenger. No, you still can.
Yeah, you totally can.
But he was an Avenger before it was cool.
Basically, yeah.
There.
He's a hipster.
Yeah. An avenging hipster. There you go.
He's an avenging, bulky hipster.
Captain Dorito.
Captain Dorito.
Because his torso is like a triangle.
Yeah. So overall, you like the movie?
I did. I like I said, I really enjoyed it. I'm surprised at that. I would like to see it again, actually.
Would you suggest it? Because I might be hitting up the movie theater, on $5 day on Tuesday.
Only because there's like not anything else out.
That's a great point. That like each month has its own thing.
Solely because they're replaying a lot of the Oscar winners and noms, and which is funny because they're not replaying The Favorite. But they're replaying Green Book. Because fuck Green Book. I don't care about a curse warning or curse limit. Fuck Green Book.
That's fine.
That
I don't understand why it won.
Because it's a dad movie. Because like the majority of people that vote on Oscars, are old white guys.
Yeah,
and to them, this is like The Blind Side.
Yeah,
where there's like a trouble. Shit, I don't want to go down this fucking avenue.
No. I mean,
but like it's this story where like there's this troubled minority, and then a white guy or white person comes in to save them.
Yeah, it seems to be like that's the running thing that's been winning.
Yes, and and there's this whole thing where Green Book is about a white driver played by Viggo Mortensen and a black musician played by Mahershala Ali. Both of them, yes, they did great jobs, despite the mediocre script and like the poor story. They only got the story from the family of the white driver because it's based on a true story.
Yeah. So
they only got the story from Viggo Mortensen's character's family. They didn't talk to the musician's family. Never mind the fact that the script and the movie were written and directed by one of the Farrelly brothers. So one of the idiots that brought you Dumb and Dumber
monumental drama.
No, it's not even like a drama. It's shot like a comedy. Like a lot of the scenes and a lot of the interactions between Mortensen and Ali are shot like comedies, where it's just shot and shot and shot and shot, like shot reverse shot. There's like nothing interesting about the camera work.
Huh.
Not like The Favorite, which The Favorite used in some parts a fisheye lens, which I'm not crazy about, but it worked because it used the fisheye to give you an idea of depth.
Yeah.
And because a lot of the buildings that they shot in are huge. They're these massive ballrooms. So it gives you the sense of depth, the sense of proportion almost.
And like grandiose. Yeah, it makes things seem bigger.
And they also use it for a comedic effect in some points. But yeah, Green Book was just like... Green Book is a dad's movie. Dads will love this movie.
I feel like we could totally talk about this on another podcast.
We could. We're not. Get me off this topic. Like, I watched the Oscars and I kept drinking. And I kept drinking because not only did Black Panther win stuff, but Roma won stuff. I'm happy Roma won some stuff.
Roma should have totally won.
But The Favorite only won one award. Granted, I'm thrilled that Olivia Colman beat out Melissa McCarthy because I can't fathom the idea of Melissa McCarthy winning an award. I can't.
So overall, what you're
saying...
Get
me back on track!
So what you're saying...
I'm so mad.
...is that since they are replaying Oscar noms and Oscar winners, Captain Marvel is a safe bet to go out and see a new movie that hasn't been played before.
Well, yeah. Also, How to Train Your Dragon's out. The third one.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen that. And Climax is out, which is... I hear it is insane. I haven't seen it. I will. But yes, go see Captain Marvel. I think it's worth it. It's slightly better than your average Marvel movie. It's a lot of the cinematography is slightly better than usual, which surprised me.
They're like upping their game.
No, like they got somebody that knows how to work a camera.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
About time.
Mm-hmm.
Only what, 10 years?
Ish.
11. It was 10 years last year.
It was 10 years last year. I'm glad that Stanley's dead so we can stop putting him in movies.
God. So go see the movie.
Go see it.
Go see the movie. Casey says it's good.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it Tuesday.
It's like a solid 7 out of 10. The story It's good. It's your typical Marvel fare. There are some characters that don't quite work, but only because they're not given adequate screen time to develop and for the audience to relate to. I hate the score. I hate the soundtrack. I don't remember the score.
Fair enough.
But I don't know. I didn't really hate much about it. The effects were fine because they did the de-aging thing to Sam Jackson and to Clark Gregg, who plays Agent Coulson again. Yeah. Agent Coulson looked like he was made out of silly putty.
You can't win them all.
Sam Jackson looked fine. I don't know. It worked better for Sam Jackson. Except for the points where he has to be like physical and you're reminded that he's like in his 60s, I think.
Really?
I think so.
I thought he was a little bit on the older side. But that I guess that doesn't. He's on the older side. And
I mean, I should probably check this just in case.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
It matters to me because I want to be correct in a way. I'm saying late 60s. What's your take?
I'm late 50s.
No, we're both wrong.
70s?
He's 70.
Wow. Good for him.
Sam Jackson is 70. Jesus Christ.
He's looking good.
He's going to die soon.
Don't say that. That man's motherfucking impenetrable.
He's going to die.
He's invulnerable. Motherfucker.
But, yeah, he was good. Like I said, we got a younger, less jaded Nick Fury. Because, I guess it's around Winter Soldier that he starts to get, like, unfun.
Becomes more serious and...
Not even serious. Like, he's just paranoid and unfun. That's just it. Like, anytime there's, like, levity happening in a movie, you bring in that Nick Fury and he just brings it down to zero.
Well, I'm glad to know that he brings back a little bit of light.
Oh, yeah.
To the role.
Especially once Goose shows up. Because Goose is the greatest Avenger now.
And we'll end on that note.
Do we have to?
I think so.
Goose is the greatest Avenger.
Goose is the greatest Avenger. Hashtag Goose is the greatest Avenger.
And that ends this episode of Coffee at the Cinema.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Clean up your trash as you exit the theater.
Don't be a D-bag.
You savages.